It's that time again. It's time for the VCB podcast with your host, Jason Smith and Ronaldo Villarreal. Where we been? What's going on? What's coming down the pipe? We're here to talk all about it on this episode, a July, very hot episode of the VCB podcast. So without further ado, man, it's been a minute since I did this. Let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Ronaldo Villarreal. What's up, Ray?
How's it going, Jason? I like what you did there. Hot episode.
It's a hot episode. It's a very hot episode.
Oh my gosh.
It's like
We're breaking
on the
records
scale
over
of
here.
like 113.
115 sometimes.
Yeah,
depending.
oh my gosh, dude, it's never ending. I think we got a whole nother week too.
Yes.
So I think I actually want to start there just for all of our listeners, especially from if you're in Fresno County. You need to call DEP, our DEP hotline, 1-888-468-9115. That's 1-888-468-9115. If you're looking for a cooling center or do you need any assistance because of the heat, go ahead and give us a call on that hotline and get all the information and locations that you need to stay cool and stay safe.
I like how you just jumped straight into that service announcement because, yes, we're very fun and energetic here, but we do care about our community.
We
So,
do.
There you go.
We do. And I couldn't sit there and talk about how hot it was without letting everybody know, hey,
Yes, I agree.
we have the resources to help you
Yes.
stay safe.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway.
hi, Jason. Dang, this is interesting.
Yeah, I know. It's been very interesting. What you been up to, Ray?
Oh my gosh. Bunch of nothing, but a lot of lots of stuff. I'm just kidding. No, it's just been very busy in the last couple of months, and I apologize, myself personally to our listeners. I know we went on a little small break, unannounced, but just a lot of new opportunities have been coming to the agency, so we had to step away just a little bit.
A lot of moving around, a lot of shifting,
Yeah,
a lot of behind the scenes VCB stuff that we need to do to keep this place running. And,
yes,
thanks to VCB, we are able to do this podcast. So we got to keep VCB going first.
Yep.
So, remember, we're here to teach, support, and employ.
Employ. That's the big part for me. Employ.
And that's what we've been doing. That's where Ray and I have been extremely busy over the last few months is the employment part of things and just, setting up new opportunities and then just keeping the other opportunities we have already going.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's a constant work in progress. So,
yeah.
But we're back and it feels so good. We got to knock off the rust a little bit, obviously, but it's like riding a bike. We're going to be okay.
Oh yeah.
I think we're already doing okay.
By the way, though, shout out to my little daughter, Estella.
There you go.
I officially trained her how to ride her bike with training wheels, but it was cute to watch her ride her bike around the backyard. Full size bike too, like a kid size full bike. I was like, there you go.
She's so awesome.
It was like.
Let me guess. Her bike's pink.
Yes, it is.
Yes, just knew it.
Yeah. It has a little basket in front and little. What are those little feathery things on the side?
Did she have a doll? Did she put a doll in her basket?
Probably.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
And makeup.
And makeup.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she is such a girl, bro. You are so in for it.
Oh yeah.
Enjoy this time,
I'm already
brother.
feeling it.
Enjoy this time.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And since we've been on, I've had a son graduate high school.
Mm-hmm. I had my two graduate preschool.
It's been busy.
It's been busy.
It's been busy, y'all. It's just been busy.
Yeah, I don't know. Have we been on the podcast when we talked about the remodel in the Fresno office too? All these new
desks and stuff. I don't think we've talked about it. I think we've been on since the remodel. Yes.
Small little plug. There might be a video coming out soon for it.
You might want to make sure you're plugged into our YouTube channel, Valley Center for the Blind, as well as our Facebook page, Instagram page, Twitter, for that possible video that might be lurking out there somewhere, being ready to drop soon.
Yeah.
We got a lot of information to drop that's going to be coming out. This is the time, guys. We're in the mid heat of summer, yes, but everything's heating up over here as well, and you're going to want to stay connected. You're going to want to stay connected on social media. You're going to want to stay connected, and it's funny because in the second half of this podcast, we're going to be telling you if you're not yet part of the VCB community, you just found out you're losing your sight, or you've been dealing with something that has been taking your sight away for years and you don't know what to do yet, you're going to want to listen to the second half of this episode.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's a well-detailed explanation of how this all works and what you need to do. So it's going to be a very educational and fun, because we always have fun here, way to let you know how to stay connected and get connected with VCB.
Yes, sir.
All right. With that said, we got, speaking of just things, I mean, like I said, we're in the middle of all this right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you already know we still have our community calls. They meet once a month. Coffee with Alvin, the community call, game night.
Book club
with Tom Randall.
Yes, sir.
If you haven't done a book club and read a book with Tom Randall and the crew, you're missing out.
Yeah.
I mean, plenty of things to do, plenty of things to get connected to. Also, speaking of Alvin's always busy. Alvin's like a little chipmunk that runs around just getting stocking up for the winter. But Alvin has been working really hard to put together another tech fair.
Yes. I'm excited for this one. I'm kind of jealous.
I think it's going to be pretty big.
Well, let me put it this way. From our last year, we have to move to a different venue because it was a little crowded last time.
The last one was a hit. It was a hit.
Yeah. So you want to get that information?
Well, yeah. But before we do, there's going to be several vendors. There's going to be multiple vendors here at this event.
Yes.
They're going to be having handhelds. What else did he say? There's
handheld wearables, different software, I believe, as well.
CCTVs,
of course, CCTVs. There's this is going to be larger than what was presented last year. Last year was primarily focused on wearable devices, so goggles, or cam and things like that. But this one will have multiple different devices for our community and information.
Yep, and it'll be at a bigger venue, so there'll be plenty of room, plenty of seating. But there is a little catch this year. So there's going to be 2 sessions. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen on August 28th. 28th or 26th? 28th. August 28th. And there's going to be 2 sessions. One from 9 to 12, and then there'll be an hour break for lunch, and there'll be another session. So you don't need to go to 2. You just need to pick one. So you could either do the 9 to 12 session or the 1 to 4.
Yep.
And in order to register, because we need you to register for this event, you need to call the DEP hotline. That's 1-888-468-9115. That's 1-888-468-9115. Register to get to the August 28th event, and you can select there what times you want to show up, whether it's the 9 to 12 or the 1 to 4.
Yep. And super excited. We have some great vendors coming out, and we're excited, and you might hear from one of them soon.
Yeah, sooner than you probably realize. No, there's a great group of vendors that help us and supply us, right, with the opportunities to have these devices that help us become independent in our lives. And so if you're on the fence, you don't know what you may want or need, this is a great opportunity to see what's old, what's new, what may be coming in the future. Bunch of cool tech. I love these events. And I don't know if I'll be able to make it this year. We'll wait and see. But I know I love these events, and they're so educational about what's out there. But some of the stuff is so fun.
Yep. And I have to say this: you don't have to be a client of VCB, but if you're interested and you're looking to learn more about technology, feel free to call our DEP line.
What's that number, Ray? Because I haven't challenged you yet.
1-888-468. 9115. Oh my gosh. There was almost got him.
Always got him, man. Always got him. Hey, I was actually nice because because we want to remind everybody, VCB has grown so much. We have 3 offices, 3 walk-in offices. We have our Fresno office, our Visalia office, and we have our lovely Bakersfield office. So if you want to contact us here in Fresno, you could always call 559-222-4447. Yeah, that was different. That was the first time we did that one.
All right. There you go. Also, we didn't pull that up, but Bakersfield has a new location too.
Bakersfield has a new location.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know if we were supposed to talk about that because of some of the stuff that we have planned, but yes, Bakersfield does have a new location. So
you can visit call us
Call us at. You want to give this a try?
No, thank you. No,
This is where I said I was being nice. I wasn't going to pull this off on you, but okay. All right. You could always give the Bakersfield office and find out its new location and all the details by calling 1-667-865-5115. That's 1-667-865-5115.
Boop, 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 boop. Sorry, buddy.
That's the number you gave me, sir.
I know. I think I did. Area code 661, not 667. Excuse me.
Okay. All right. So if he's not saying it wrong, he's giving it. Oh, I guess he's saying the same thing. Either way. Let's do this again so you're not confused. 1-661-865-5115. That's 661-865-5115. I'll probably forever remember that number now because I've had to say it 5 times.
That's why I was like the 9115 and then 51115. That was what was getting me confused.
You're confusing me right now.
Yeah.
We're confusing everybody else. Call Bakersfield, get their new location. I heard it's a beautiful office. I have not yet seen it or be able to experience the new location, but I'm looking forward to seeing it soon.
It's much larger. And for those that are aware of the former Bakersfield office, this one's there's no additional floors. It's just one level.
Just one level.
No elevator.
One-stop shop.
No stairs. It's flat.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
So very much more accessible is what you're saying.
So, yes. So growth. Growth in our
Nothing
agency.
wrong with growth.
Oh, my gosh. We are, again, I apologize, but it's just been one of those quarters for our agency. We've been leveling up, moving offices, making some new changes, creating new positions, having new service lines. It's new trainings continuing to happen. It's so, what's that term? Sorry, not sorry, kind of.
Sorry, not sorry. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And also, I want to mention as well that we've already kicked off our summer stuff, right? We already we had one adaptive sports camp already, but we do have one coming on the last week of July, which I believe is the 26th, 27th, and 28th. If you are interested in attending and you're a part, you got to be a part of DOR. You have to be signed up through DOR, but please contact us here and ask for your case manager. And if you're not yet tied into a case manager, ask to be connected to one, regardless if you're in Bakersfield, Visalia, or the Fresno office. And you can do that by dialing 559-222-4447. Linda will connect you with the proper case manager that you need to get in contact with and let them know that you're interested in getting more information and signing up and filling out the application to go to Adaptive Sports up at Shaver Lake. I think that's it. I think we've ran down the gamut.
Oh my gosh, we had a lot to do and update, but I'm so excited to be back on, Jason.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Looking forward to the great things that are continuing to happen, with our agency and our community. So thank you all listeners out there.
Yeah, we missed you. We're back. Stay tuned. This podcast will be releasing. This is our July podcast. Stay tuned for August. And the rest of the year, we are fired up, and we can't wait to get connected with you. And I want you guys to stay tuned. We got Gillian Conrad coming up, case manager for the Fresno office. We're going to get into all the details of what the process is like for her to take your intake and get you going here at VCB. But first, here is a word from one of our vendors coming up from August 28th. Seeking top-notch accessibility and support? Look no further than Sterling Adaptives. Not only do they provide excellent service, but also actively support organizations like ours. Contact them at 415-878-2922. That's 1-415-878-2922. Or email them at sales@sterlingadaptives.com. That's sales@sterlingadaptive.com. Sterling Adaptives, where sterling reputation meets unparalleled compassion and care. All right, we have an amazing interview that I want to get into today. I'm going to be bringing on Fresno's case manager, Gillian Conrad. Gillian, welcome to the VCB podcast. How are you?
I'm doing good, Jason. How are you?
I'm on cloud nine. I'm always on cloud nine when I'm here. You know that. I I come in here, I try to be in a good mood and mess with people and have a good time.
Oh yeah, always got a positive attitude. Always trying to shoot me in the office.
Always. I'm telling you, we need to get some Nerf guns up in here.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
No, but I really wanted to just thank you for coming on because in the month of March, it is case management month or some version of it, right? So I've been trying to find a case manager to come on and have a conversation with me, and you were so eager and willing, and I think you did a cartwheel and a backflip. I couldn't tell that I asked you to be on the podcast, so thank you.
Yeah, maybe a little nervous, but I'm excited. I think it'll be fun.
No, you're doing great already. So today I just really want to get into case management and share the perspective of what you do and why, and how you're probably VCB's biggest advocate.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely try to be. I got into case management kind of by accident. I have a visual impairment myself, so I, have always kind of tangentially been in that field and, been aware of blindness and those kind of issues. But, growing up, I got some minor services, large print. I'm very fortunate to have a lot of remaining vision. And I just kind of ended up being connected in that area. And I started first assisting students in high school who are blind or low vision. And through that, I kind of made a connection with somebody who was on the board at VCB, and they had recommended that I should apply for the case management position. And it really just all started from there. And it's been really exciting, really fun the past couple of years that I've been doing this. So I'm, excited to get more into it and get more involved. But it, like I said, kind of all happened by accident, and it's probably one of the happiest accidents of my life.
No, I mean, it's such an amazing feeling. I know when I came in here as a client, it was funny because the case manager at the time that took my intake ended up working for me on a project later. So it was kind of funny. But there's something about VCB and being connected to the community and being part of, especially being on this side of it, where we're able to give back and help people find their way through their sight loss and give them the opportunities that we're allowed to. That's really important. And you're the beginning stage, really. You might not be, well, go ahead. So what would be the first step when a client walks in? Do they meet with you or do they go right to Kathy?
No. So basically first step, they're going to meet with me or one of our other case managers, Shanice or Destiny, and they're both fantastic. And that's basically going to be to get the process started. So we're going to start with even just the basics of like filling in your file, getting your address, date of birth, all those boring details, and then going into the more interesting details of what are your goals? What are the things that you actually want to learn and move towards? Do you have an employment goal? Are you just learning, wanting to learn to be independent? Do you want to learn to read Braille? What are the different things that you're wanting to get out of VCB? And what are the different things that you're needing? If you need any additional resources, I can help connect you with those and kind of just get that whole process started. Make sure that you get connected with DOR if you have that employment goal, or get connected with some of our other grants and, services that we need if you're not, in that employment category. So basically just getting you started, getting you introduced to VCB and, making sure that clients are able to move forward and be successful with those goals.
Yeah. And then you have to determine whether or not, what is their track when it comes to VCB, whether it's, through one of our grants or through DOR, and you help with that process as well, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So if a client has an employment goal, they're going to go through DOR. I'm going to make that referral. But we have a couple other options for people who are 55 and over. We have our OIB grant, which is going to help, again, just to get them that training to remain independent. And then we also have much more recently, we started getting a grant called AB 2480, which they're actually looking to rename. So if anybody has suggestions, apparently DOR is looking for them. But AB 2480 is for people who are below 55 but do not have an employment goal. So if you are just looking for independence and some training and assistance with getting there, then AB 2480 is going to be one of those things that I connect you with.
Yeah. So outside of the AB 2480, that sounds like a fantastic program, except having to say that 3 times fast. But no, I think that's great because I know that's been a problem for a lot of our clients. They're in that in between.
Yeah, exactly. Some of our clients come in and, it's the first time they've ever met anybody else who's blind or low vision. It's the first time that they're dealing with or experiencing their vision loss in a lot of cases. And even if it's not, sometimes they just have not had that access to those different kind of resources and training before. And so I always tell people that VCB kind of has a bubble where all of us, like we're in the blindness community bubble where we just like everybody knows everybody knows all the resources and all the things that are out there. But I see all the time with intakes that come in that bubble is very much a VCB bubble. It's not something that people outside of that experience until they come to VCB and we let them in that bubble. So, I try to encourage people and, just let them know that they're not the only ones out there and that, it's not their fault that they didn't know these resources existed, but, now that they do, like, let's get you going, let's get you moving towards your goals and your, just whatever that you need in your life, whether it's independence, employment, additional resources. We have partnerships with FCHIP and DEP where we can connect you with different resources outside of VCB. So if you need help with, housing or Medi-Cal or, all these different things, we've got resources for that too. So it's really great to, be able to kind of guide people through that entire process and, hope like see them grow and, see them come in from that point where they probably are, dealing with their vision loss for the first time and are probably, not aware of other people who are blind or low vision or, have never, understood how somebody who's blind would use a cell phone or, even just the basics and take them from that point and just see that growth, once they have met with Tom or Martel and, they can use their phone and, once they do have the confidence to go for that job and, different things like that, it just is so wonderful to see people grow and change through and because in some cases of VCB or, it's just it's so wonderful to be able to kind of watch that whole process and guide it from above in a case management perspective.
And it's one of my favorite things when I watch these clients like come in and they're at a certain place when you talk to them out in the lobby and then you start seeing them every week. And then as they grow in the skills, and then you go back and talk to them and they're just glowing and they're just like a whole new person just because they have these skills now. They don't feel like they're in a closet. They're living their life. And on that note, what if somebody comes in and they have an employment goal, how much do you get involved on helping them identify employment opportunities for them?
So on my end, I would send them to Jamie for that. Yeah. Jamie does employment services and she's fantastic. So a lot of times, I'll be requesting from DOR employment services when they're ready for that. That's usually after they've completed a certain amount of assistive technology, things like that. They've got some of those employment like necessary skills. And then, from there, I'll usually talk with them during their ISPs, which are quarterly meetings that we have with the clients just to check on their training and, make sure that things are going well. And usually through that, I'll kind of check in like, okay, how much progress have we made? Are we ready for employment services? Are we ready for adult work experience? And connecting them that way. And if I'm aware of a job opening that I think would be a good fit for a client, then I may pass something along a little bit more specific to that. But for the most part, I let Jamie handle a lot of the employment side of things.
Sounds like a conversation we had before the podcast. But, it's the cool thing about your job is you're there every step of the way where, if you're an AT instructor or an ILS instructor, Braille instructor, so on and so forth, you get them at certain parts of their journey, but you are there from the beginning till the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that about my job. I think sometimes I get a little bit jealous of the instructors because they see the clients a little bit more regularly as far as, once a week or however often that client's coming in, and they going to get to see the process week to week. But through those ISP meetings, I get to see them once every 3 months for whatever service that they're in, and really see that growth and capture that growth of like, wow, this person came in and 3 months ago they didn't know anything about Braille, and now 3 months later they have mastered the alphabet and they're ready to move on to writing, reading sentences and writing Braille and learning Unified English Braille.
Yeah.
And just for an example, but it's the same thing with assistive technology. Somebody comes in, they have never worked with assistive technology on a computer, they have no capability of using a computer at the beginning, and then 3 months down the road they are they've mastered Windows with JAWS, and they're learning to do web browsing or different things like that. So it's really awesome to get to kind of see that whole process and see that growth over time, that I know sometimes our instructors don't always get to see beyond the instruction that they do, which is so important and so vital. But a big picture for that client doesn't always seem like a huge change. They can use the computer, but they don't see, when that person goes and gets a job with those skills.
Yeah. And you mentioned AWE. Can you go ahead and share with the audience what AWE is and how impactful it can be for them?
Yeah, so AWE stands for Adult Work Experience, and Adult Work Experience is basically a service that's designed to get people some experience with work. So it entails first, we would do an intake just to, check you in, make sure that we got an idea of what kind of skills you already have, what your employment history is like, those kind of things. And then we would find a placement for you either within our own agency, or we have a couple of partner organizations that we work with, where you would be able to do 100 hours of paid work experience. So you are getting paid for your work, and you get to kind of just try out a job. See if it works for you, see if it's something that you could move into in the future, if it's something you like, or if there are any, barriers. Once you get there, we can find those barriers and address them before we're looking at permanent employment. So it's a really great way to build resumes, find those barriers and address them, and just give people a chance to try out working. Because sometimes, we have clients that maybe they've never worked before in their lives, or maybe they worked, but only when they had sight. And now it's just a completely different, ball game for them. So they're trying to, figure that out and get that experience. So Adult Work Experience just allows the kind of a trial period where you do get paid and you do get to, try things out. And then once you are ready, we would move you into employment services, where you're looking at more permanent employment.
Yeah, it's a great way to kind of utilize some of the skills you learned during the process, kind of see where you're at, build your resume, and maybe even find another career path that you never knew existed for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic service, and a lot of our clients have had really good success there.
Now, the really cool thing that I like about your job is the advocate part. And not only are you the advocate for the client when it pertains to their instructors, their DOR counselors, all of that, you're kind of that middle person. But how do you teach them? Do you teach them too to learn how to advocate for themselves, and that way when they're done, that they're on their own and they're doing some of the stuff that you've been doing for them?
Yeah, so I do try my best to teach them those advocacy skills, either, just through letting them know, like, hey, this is the issue that we've been discussing, and this is how I'm going to go about addressing that issue with, whether it's your DOR counselor or one of your instructors or any of those things, just kind of guiding them through that process of like, hey, I'm going to set up this meeting. This is what we're going to discuss. Or, letting them know like, hey, these are the steps that you can take. The client assistance program is available to provide an advocate for you, different things like that. Because sometimes advocating for yourself is also asking for help, and, finding another advocate to support you.
Yep.
Because if you don't have those skills, you have to be able to at least go out there and ask for somebody who does have those skills. So there's, a lot of different capacities that I do that in, but I always try to keep the client very included in the process so that they can see, oh, this is what she's asking for. This is how she's asking for it. And, hopefully one day they're able to do that for themselves.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, that's why she's a case manager. Before I let you go, and by the way, this is some amazing information. If you had any advice for anybody who's listening that may be on the fence, they're losing their sight, they're in that process, what would you say to encourage, motivate, inspire them to come to VCB and get services?
I would say just schedule that intake. Learn what's out there, because even if you don't want to move forward after the intake, we can do it over the phone. We can make it super flexible for you, and you can learn about the different resources that are available for your specific situation. So, like we've talked about, if somebody's seeking employment, that tends to look a lot different than if somebody's seeking just services for independence. But there are services available for everybody. And even if you're not sure after the intake, or if you're not sure about scheduling that intake, we have social groups available to just learn about the community. Keep listening to the podcast, learn about the community.
Awesome. Nice plug. Thank you.
Of course. And, just get involved that way. We have Welcome Wednesday program, which, most Wednesday mornings, just give us a call ahead of time. Make sure it's on the calendar for that Wednesday, and we'll get you in. You can just learn about the center that way. But get that information, because even if you're not ready to use it right now, one day you might be, or one day you might know somebody who needs that information. And so, if you're on the fence at all, just schedule that intake. It can't hurt. We can do it over the phone. It'll be super simple. And, hopefully, I think in a lot of cases, it is very life-changing for people to just get that first part out of the way.
Well, Gillian, I just really want to thank you today for coming on and giving us such great insight on not only what case management is, but how it can impact our community and giving inspiration and motivation to those who may be listening that haven't made that step yet. Is there anything that you would like the community to know before we say goodbye?
I would just want to add that if you're a returning client, or if you're somebody who was a client in the past but not really engaging in active services right now, we do have more grants available, more services available than ever. So if you have any doubts about, if you want to re-engage with us or anything like that, again, just schedule that intake, or, call me and talk to me or one of our other case managers, and we can, get you moving forward, because like I said, there's just more grants and more opportunities than ever to get services that, again, can be life-changing and just can really, really affect you in such a positive way.
Well, Gillian, I want to thank you again for making the time to come and talk with us today, because I think this is very impactful. So thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.